Hi, my name's Jonathan Pearce, and welcome to another segment of Pearced Off, the counter-apologetics and philosophy segment for the Skepticule Podcast. Today I'm going to talk about the Pope in the Catholic Church. It's an idea that celebrating one Pope condemns others. Now, I came across a Catholic poster on Facebook recently who posted an article celebrating the present Pope, Pope Francis, in combating the mafia. Apparently, the Pope was brave in doing so, and this was to be celebrated, and the whole thread was all about how, the good job that Pope Francis is doing. And of course, this stretches past, work with the mafia, speeches about the mafia, his speeches about combating corporate greed, even the environment, and sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. This present Pope has cast his more liberal opinions over them. And basically I said this, it's a good move. He's definitely making all the right sounds. I suppose a corollary of this is this. Does this mean previous popes were weak? By omission, were they doing the wrong things? Are Catholics willing to admit necessarily that previous popes, by celebrating the actions of this pope, were not up to scratch? Indeed, Catholics should be more critical of their pope of the moment. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Catholics are very good at proclaiming the good things about a present pope, but not about criticising the bad things or the lack of those good things in a present pope. I didn't hear many Catholics saying of previous popes that they should be doing what the present pope is doing and saying. This is what I'm now terming fair weather evaluation. And yeah, not all popes have an equal measure of virtue, and some popes have more courage than others. But that's to say that some popes have less courage than others, and some popes lack doing and saying the right things when they should. I don't just mean about the mafia, but about, as I said, sexual abuse, corporate culture, the environment, and other worldviews, etc. The more people celebrate this pope, the more they are implicitly criticising previous popes. But they lacked the critical vigour to do so contemporaneously. So, even though you could say Benedict was a superior theologian and people have natural talents and virtues that vary, and that this doesn't change when you become Pope, and you have different priorities given finite time, praising Pope Francis doesn't condemn Pope Benedict. It's not a zero-sum game where we have to take away praise from X to give praise to Y. Some popes are greater than others, so on and so forth. I'd say that, okay, that may seem like a good defence, but this is something that's been plaguing me for some time, because Catholics were strangely mute about the shortcomings of Joey Ratz and his predecessors, in the main. Obviously there's always exceptions. And as soon as a pope who comes along and actually starts saying things that a man in his position should say, as a fairly standard matter of course, given the theological background and role model in Jesus, Catholics are all over bigging him up, saying how great he is. But that does raise huge questions about why the shortcomings of the previous popes were not raised. If you think the actions of the previous pope with regards to sexual abuse in which he was a part of the cover-up should not be seen in the context of the present pope, and the moves he is making in the right direction, then you're blinded by your own bias. I'm not really making a point about some popes being better than others. Yes, as mere humans, that will always be the case. My point is about the Catholic reactions on very comparable subjects, such as sexual abuse. What celebration means is, well done, that is the good and right thing to do. Which means to say, Joey Ratz not doing it was him not doing the right thing to have done. But at the same time, Catholics were strangely mute often on him not doing the right thing. And this is pretty important to note, I think, this point. There is a double standard involved in such celebrating, and yet not being willing to own up to the poorer papal actions, speeches and decisions, and to criticise them for what they are. So I think in the main, and obviously there are liberal and critical Catholics out there who are ready to criticise the Pope, but in the main Catholics are mute in criticising the Pope when it is good and proper to do so. And this is shown up by the fact that they are very willing to celebrate how great the present Pope is. Yes, he's doing all these amazing things. Well, of course, if you're saying it's great that he's doing all these amazing things, you're implying that it was not great that the previous popes didn't do that. So here's my point. Catholic point today. Back to you guys to discuss. As I said, my name's Jonathan M.S. Pearce. I'm a tippling philosopher. As ever, question everything.